Good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the future session for November the 5th with myself, Charles Cochran. Hey folks, just looking around markets, it's a much more risk-off mood as grip markets. You can see US equity markets generally are pressured lower. NASDAQ falling sharply. The main narrative that's being communicated is that there's lofty valuations and uncertainty about the extent to which the Federal Reserve is going to be cutting interest rates. So that's the main drivers, and that sort of risk-off trading has gone through markets. You can see that commodities are largely pressured to the downside. You've got the dollar continue to move higher. That's pressurizing euro dollar even further lower. I can see the yen finding a bid, and Antipodeans, the Aussie and New Zealand dollar, have been pressured in recent trade, although that's fading a little bit just at the moment. But the broad perspective has been weakness in the Aussie, New Zealand dollar, strength in the yen. So we're still sort of very much in that risk-off kind of mood. We have had ADP jobs data. That's came in firmer than markets are expecting, priors unrevised. That just means that the Federal Reserve is less likely to be cutting interest rates. That's largely behind the bid we've seen in US Treasuries just come in. See a sell-off rather, and you can see US 10-year yields pushing high. Now that was also on the news. Where was it? US quarterly refunding announcement expects to keep coupon and FRN auction sizes steady for the next several quarters. So there's an increase of bond expectations in the 5 and the 10.
That US and Canada talks have not resumed.
Right, so there's pressure seen in US Treasuries on that announcement that the Treasury has basically begun preliminary considerations around increase to future auction sizes. That's just adding to the downside in US Treasuries. There being less bid on that. That's also supporting the dollar at the moment, okay? And that's helping the euro dollar to keep moving lower at the moment. So that's the sentiment. Now, looking at markets.
Here from Russian President Putin, just noting Russia always sticks to obligations on nuclear test bans, but if others hold such tests, Russia should respond accordingly.
Like we're seeing buyers come in. This is a 3 inside bar up pattern. Inside bar up, that's red hot support. Also a fair value gap, right? So prices moved into that fair value gap and found dip buyers in the S&P 500. Hi Osho, good to see you.
And also Poland, the central bank does cut the main interest rate to 4.25% from 4.5%.
And you can see we've got this drop and you've got price trying to rally, but it's likely just to hit this area and sell off. So we've got this 3 inside bar pattern up. Hey Osho, I want to show you a video on the inside up. I'll show it to you in a minute, but I'm just going to carry on for now. Equity markets are pressured, and notice they've got this recent swing low point that's been taken out. So that's a sell area here. So there's a sell bias out there. So that's what we've got to keep our mind on. And even though we're sort of pushing up higher here, at some point we anticipate sellers coming in. So you've got a lot of buyers who got trapped here last night, sold off. We're still in that area. So there's a potential for a sell-off here, although you've seen buyers have come in and trapped sellers here and here. So as it stands, we're kind of in a buy mood, and you can see that that's not unreasonable for buying in at the open. And I am happy to buy that. The only problem that's putting me off is I don't want to buy into resistance. And you can see that this is a value area that we're buying into on the weekly, value area high. So in principle, you could buy it, but I don't want to buy into that resistance. Get up above, maybe get above those sellers, then I consider it. Otherwise, just going to wait. You can see on the 15-minute chart, you've got these breakout buyers trying to take it higher here. If we see those buyers get trapped, then we could easily see a collapse lower. So I prefer the collapse lower. The big areas I'm looking for is where were buyers trapped yesterday? Here and here, right? And there. So probably got to watch out for sellers, I think, at the 6, 8, 10. So jot that down, sellers 6, 8, 10. As you can see here, right? That's where those buyers were trapped. And that's at the 6, 8, 10, 6, 8, 11. So I'll be looking for sellers there. If you can find it on the 15-minute, you can see we're trying to move higher, but broadly speaking, it's not unreasonable to expect further downside.
We'll be giving a quote big speech on the economy at 1 p.m. Eastern time in Miami.
So keeping it careful in that 6-8-10 region. And obviously, if I can get some buyers trapped up here, then we could sell off back down to that 6-7-70. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. Otherwise, any big retracement up to that area looks great for selling the 6-8-04, which is into those lows. So if we can get up towards this area, then definitely looking for sellers up here into any kind of buyers that get trapped up there, particularly anywhere in that value area high in the weekly is a great area for selling. Okay, so that's definitely what I'm looking for. Hey Najam, good to see you. The 6-8-10 is what's standing out to me for potential selling. Then getting underneath that area, we can push lower. Just want to have a little look at this from a price action perspective. Initial balance, breaking it back into that range. A little attempt of a breakout of that high here. So you can see price trying to hold above that high, but great area for a false break to carry on lower. Otherwise, back up to this area for selling. Now, if we get a close underneath those buyers, I would sell at the open and just have the stops running above these sellers here at the 6-8-08. Hello, you. Otherwise, buyers would try to come in. They're trying to push above this level. So on the contrary, if we get above this level, I would buy, but I'm not going to buy beyond 6-8-10. I expect profit taking there. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to be flexible on this. Happy to go either way. Okay, waiting on the 5-minute. Okay, if we get underneath here, we're going to sell. A few seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Right, I'm selling at the open. Because these sellers have come in, they've trapped those buyers there.
Just an update for Canada. In terms of October, the services PMI, that's 50.5, so that's up from 46.3. So it is moving into expansion. First time in 11 months. That marked the highest reading since November 2024.
Okay, standard deviation capping it for now. Okay. Okay, sellers trapping these buyers here. The sell bias is still there. Okay. Okay. Okay, more buyers here, but okay, now sellers maybe trapping those buyers. If they do, I'm going to add another position. Right, adding another position in that because these sellers are now trap those buyers. Right, then looking at taking profit.
Next on the calendar, we have
against the VWAP.
final revisions to the US services PMI for the month of October. Last time out, revisions were
just going to be
6788, 54.8. Keep in mind, does come ahead of the ISM services release at the top of the hour in around 25 minutes.
Okay, there's delta coming in there. Yeah, well done there, Jim. I'm still holding, just seeing if I can get a bit more out of this. Okay, I'm out. Okay, now looking to go back the other way, basically. This is that hot zone that I was looking at here, back above here. Right, so let's see if we can get 5-minute sellers trap, then go back the other way. It'd be lovely. Didn't quite hit my take profit, but that's fine.